Ryan Fitzpatrick, a man with a career full of highlight reel moments.
See if Fitzpatrick can pull a trick out. He got hit as he lofted it up. Blown coverage!
As a tribute to the man with the greatest beard in NFL history, we happily present the 10 best moments of Ryan Fitzpatrick's career. And hey, a big shout out to DJK2500 for suggesting this video. Season-saving, no-look pass. You gotta feel for Fitzpatrick that he never got a chance to smell a second of NFL postseason action. But trust us, it was not for a lack of trying. Fitzpatrick and rookie Tua Tagovailoa played a game of musical chairs for the starting QB role with the Dolphins in 2020. Both men were up and down all year, leaving Brian Flores with no choice but to just keep going with the hot hand. Tagovailoa was struggling in the Miami Dolphins' Week 16 must-win road game against the Las Vegas Raiders, and Flores decided to replace him with Fitzpatrick. Miami's playoff hopes seemed done for, however, when Vegas booted the go-ahead field goal with only 19 seconds remaining. Miami was stuck at their own 25-yard line with 0 timeouts, trailing by 2. Piece of cake for Fitzpatrick, who delivered the defining throw of his career while being face masked. That set the stage for Jason Sanders to play hero. He booted the game-winning 44-yarder and kept Miami's playoff hopes alive. Unfortunately, they were throttled by the Buffalo Bills in a must-win Week 17 contest, which Tagovailoa started, by the way. Fitzpatrick's final outing as a Dolphin, however, was nothing short of legendary. Week 3, 2011, the rise of Fitzmagic. The Bills and their arch rivals, the New England Patriots, entered Week 3 of the 2011 season with identical 2-0 records. But of course, the Patriots were the NFL's model organization, and these Bills were a total fluke who stood no chance against the evil empire. At least, that's what it looked like midway through the second quarter. The Patriots jumped out to a 21-0 lead thanks to 3 touchdown passes from Tom Brady. But this little-known Fitzpatrick dude and the Bills slowly chipped away at the lead, cutting the deficit to 11 before halftime. Fred Jackson's 1-yard run early in the fourth quarter eventually tied things up. Deadlocked at 31 apiece with 3.5 minutes to go, Fitzpatrick pieced together a drive that lives on in Bills Mafia lore. It was highlighted by a pass to Jackson, who took the ball 38 yards before getting tackled just shy of the end zone. The Bills melted the clock from there, giving Ryan Lindell the chance to put the final cherry on top of Fitzmagic's breakout performance. The Bills' defense stepped up and forced 4 Brady interceptions in the game. But it was Fitzpatrick who was the real hero with 369 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sinking the Raiders. 1 week before Fitzpatrick's Week 3 2011 victory against Brady and the Patriots, he did the same thing against the Oakland Raiders at the same venue, Ralph Wilson Stadium. Fitzpatrick and Jason Campbell went back and forth in a shootout for the ages, but it looked like it would result in a road win for the Raiders when they took a 35-31 lead late in the fourth. Fitzpatrick wasn't about to let this one slip away, however. He got the ball and delivered a masterful drive for the ages. Facing a do-or-die 4th-and-1 situation in the waning seconds, Fitzpatrick found a wide-open David Nelson for the game winner. Bills D held down the fort from there, capping off a thrilling 38-35 win. Houston, we've got a Fitz problem. The Harvard product is hardly known by anybody in the football universe when the St. Louis Rams drafted him 250th overall in 2005. In fact, only 5 players were taken after Fitzpatrick that year. Nonetheless, it didn't take Fitz long to introduce himself to the football world. He finally saw his first NFL action in Week 12 of his rookie 2005 campaign against the Houston Texans, filling in for an injured Jamie Martin. The Texans led 24-3 at halftime. It was shaping up to be a forgettable debut for Fitzpatrick, but 2 Rams third-quarter touchdowns cut the lead down to 7, and suddenly, there was life. However, a Chris Brown field goal with under 3 minutes remaining put Houston up by 10. The game was seemingly out of reach. But as it turns out, it was just the beginning of some Fitzmagic. With 26 ticks remaining, Fitzpatrick launched a 43-yard bomb to Isaac Bruce, which cut the lead to 3. Amazingly, the Rams recovered the onside kick to keep their hopes alive, and Fitzpatrick found Tony Holt over the middle for 19 yards to set up Jeff Wilkins' game-tying field goal. The Rams forced a punt on the opening drive of overtime. Fitzpatrick got the ball back, and the rest, as they say, is history. Many of you out there probably thought it was just going to be a flash-in-the-pan thing for Fitzpatrick. Nope, just one of many Fitzmagic moments. The dime to DeAndre Hopkins. Fitzpatrick spent one season with the Houston Texans in 2014, but it certainly went better than most could have expected. Houston was coming off an embarrassing 2-14 season that led them to firing longtime head coach Gary Kubiak. Rather than draft a QB with the first overall selection in 2014, the Texans took Jadeveon Clowney and decided to roll with Fitzmagic under center. He won 6 of 12 starts and had a very solid stat line, completing 63.1% of his passes with 17 touchdowns and 8 picks. Fitzpatrick and then second-year wideout DeAndre Hopkins were one of the NFL's most productive duos that season. Take, for instance, this 58-yard dime from Week 13 that resulted in a touchdown against the Tennessee Titans, the team Fitz fittingly played for 1 year earlier. Fitzpatrick finished that day with an insane 6 touchdowns, which was a career high, by the way, and 358 passing yards. The Texans routed the Titans 45-21 and finished the season with a respectable 9-7 record. Fitzmagic silences Jerry World. The Jets entered their Week 15 2015 road game against the Dallas Cowboys with an 8-5 record. They were in a tight race with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2 wildcard spots in the AFC. Simply put, New York could not afford to lose to a Dallas team that entered the day with an ugly 4-9 record and no Tony Romo under center. But Matt Castle and the Cowboys hung in there all game and kept it surprisingly close throughout. Dan Bailey's 50-yard field goal with just 1:55 remaining tied the game up, and the Jets were one more slip-up away from being dealt a giant blow to their postseason dreams. Fitzpatrick finally got the Jets to stop playing around. He converted on a pivotal 3rd-and-1 QB sneak with just over a minute left. Then he went to work. On the next play, he threw a gem of a deep ball to Kembrell Tompkins. Remember him, Patriots fans? For 43 yards. New York melted the clock and brought out Randy Bullock, who booted the go-ahead 40-yarder in the waning seconds. That victory pushed the Jets to 8-5 and kept their realistic playoff hopes very much alive. Fitzmagic to T.O. Yes, you may have forgotten all about it, but Fitzpatrick and Hall of Famer Terrell Owens actually played together for one season. Fitzpatrick, of course, wasn't exactly a well-known commodity when he was a starter for the Bills at the time, and Owens was certainly a shell of his former self. Still, it's pretty cool that we get to tell our kids and future grandkids that these two played together with Buffalo in 2010. And that they also hooked up on a picture-perfect pitch and catch in the Bills' Week 11 2009 road game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Outdueling the GOAT in 2015 overtime thriller. Fitz's best season was with the Jets in 2015, by a country mile. That year, he set career highs with 3,905 passing yards and 31 touchdowns. Fitz also led the Jets to a 10-6 season, which marked their first winning campaign since 2010. Fitzpatrick had his fair share of clutch moments that year, orchestrating 3 game-winning drives, but none of them, of course, were more memorable or clutch than the one during the Week 16 2015 home meeting with the Patriots. New England needed just one more victory to secure home advantage throughout the playoffs, but Fitzpatrick and the Jets dominated the first 2.5 quarters, jumping out to a 17-6 lead before the Patriots gradually clawed their way back into the game. The game required overtime, and the Jets essentially had to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Patriots won the coin toss, but in a surprise move, they decided to defer. Fitz would make them pay dearly for it. On the second play from scrimmage, Fitz hit Quincy Enunwa on a short pass for a 48-yard gain. 3 plays later, Fitzpatrick put the dagger in the Patriots again. The Jets would end up falling to Fitzpatrick's old team, the Bills, 1 week later to miss out on the postseason altogether. But this win did end up costing the Patriots a first-round bye, and they eventually lost on the road to the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game. So Fitz and the Jets could at least take pride in helping to foil the Patriots' Super Bowl title defense. Lighting up the Saints in 2018 opener. Fitzpatrick's Tampa Bay Buccaneers were supposed to have no shot against the NFC South rival New Orleans Saints. Starting quarterback Jameis Winston was suspended for the first 3 games of the season. Plus, the Buccaneers just weren't a very good team at the time. Furthermore, the Saints were widely regarded as the team to beat in the NFC. Surely, a mediocre team with a backup QB would have no chance against them, right? Well, think again. Fitzpatrick went off and absolutely lit up one of the NFL's top secondaries, completing 28 of 28 passes for 417 1,001 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 picks. He even added 36 rushing yards and another rushing score. Fitzpatrick's heroics led Tampa to a stunning 48-40 upset win at the Superdome. A week later, he surpassed 400 passing yards once again, this time during a win over the Philadelphia Eagles, and he did it once more during a Week 3 loss to the Steelers. That made him the first player ever to throw for 400 yards in 3 straight games. Fitzmagic, baby! Ruining Tom Brady's swan song season with the Patriots. Like most quarterbacks, Fitzpatrick was often a victim of the New England Patriots' greatness. He had his fair share of bad moments against them as a member of each of the Pats' 3 AFC East Division rivals, the Dolphins, Bills, and New York Jets. But Fitzpatrick would be the one to get the last laugh in his final showdown with the GOAT, which took place in Week 17 of the 2019 season. The Patriots just needed a win or Kansas City Chiefs loss to clinch the number 2 seed in a first-round bye in the playoffs. Now, the Pats hadn't lost at home to Miami since the 2008 season. And with a disappointing 4-11 record, it's no wonder that the Dolphins entered Gillette Stadium as a 17.5-point underdog. But Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins embraced the nothing-to-lose mantra and hung in there with the Patriots all game long. Fitz and Brady traded blow for 3.5 quarters. But the game looked to be over once Brady found James White for the go-ahead score with 3 minutes and 53 seconds remaining, which put New England up by 4. Rather than roll over and give up, Fitzpatrick took on the spoiler role and silenced Foxborough, putting together a surgical drive culminating with the game-winning strike to Mike Gesicki. That knocked the Patriots down to the number 3 seed, and they were eliminated by the Tennessee Titans in the wildcard round. 'Twas a sour ending for the TB12 era in New England, and it was all because of one man, Fitzmagic. But which do you think is the best moment of Ryan Fitzpatrick's NFL career? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.